Jeremy, welcome to Dublin. This is a fight that's been a long time coming. Does it feel surreal to finally be facing off against Pedro Carvalho after calling for this fight for a number of years?
Yeah, just more excitement. I'm just finally here. I could look outside and see the 3 Arena. I just saw him walk out. Like I said, it's real now. I've been here for a week and focusing so much on the weight that can't wait for the fight itself. And now we're here. We're like, I got a timer on my phone. I think we're at 20 hours to weigh-ins, and then it's game time till then. I can't wait.
It's funny. I just asked Pedro actually, what does he think an interaction with you two will be like, and then it sounds like you just passed each other in the hallway there.
Well,
what was it like?
Honestly, I didn't know he was in here, and then he came by and he shook my hand, and that's about it. Like the talking's done, the work's done. It's a matter of just getting in there now. I mean, we'll see what happens when you get this face-off going on in front of the tram there, but. Yeah, just for right now, it's all business. Right now, the weight cut's the first fight that I'm focusing on right now, and I'm sure he's doing the same. So we're hungry. We're not thinking about each other right now.
Why was it this fight that you were calling for? Why was it Pedro specifically?
Timeline-wise, well, originally, I just thought he was the fight that I was looking up in the rankings, and that was the matchup that I liked the most. Just like any fighter would do and does. They're always calling up. And it was just the way he reacted to it. He like almost got offended, which, I mean, any other male trying to, get in a fist fight with you, you're gonna. But his root was that I was, obsessed with him, and that I didn't deserve to be in the rankings in the first place, and I didn't deserve to fight him. And it's like my wins, I had more wins than he had fights, So I was just. It didn't make sense. I felt disrespected, and so that kind of left a sour taste in my mouth. The fight was offered to both of us a few different times. He didn't take it for whatever reason. I wasn't good enough name, and then he's fighting guys not even in the ranks. But so I left it alone, didn't bother. And then right before my last fight, I'm fight week. I was around this time, hungry, starving, grumpy. And he puts out a tweet, congratulating all the other featherweights that were fighting at the time, the Champ, Pico, Borks and Pitbull. And then he says, Jeremy's nothing but easy money for Pico. And I'm sitting there laying there. I'm like, oh, this guy comes out of the woodwork now, So and then as soon as the fight happened, I won, and he was the first name on my mind because I was hunting for that fight. I left it alone because he didn't want anything to do with it. And then he had nowhere to run. I called him out publicly. He was the only guy left. If he wanted a path to the title, he had to go through me. If I wanted a path to the title, I had to go through him. So it set itself up. But it was nice because, the work was done. It was written in the stars already that was the fight to make. There was already this event was, announced already. So I wanted to stay active, so it just worked out. It couldn't have worked out better. I could call for my next fight in cage, and that doesn't have to happen very often. You hear the generic, I'll fight anybody, and we all will, and I'll fight anywhere, and we all will. But I had somebody, and I had somewhere to go, and it was perfect that it ended up working out. And I've always wanted to see Ireland, and I've absolutely loved it so far. So.
This fight is being billed as a number 1 contender fight. Obviously, AJ McKee is busy with 155.
He is a 55er. He's not 45er anymore. Let's take him out of the rankings, guys. Come on.
Yeah, Adam Boric is just lost, and you just defeated Aaron Pico.
Too, so.
Yeah, have you been given any guarantees from Bellator that the winner will be fighting for a title next?
Well, I've just had it through my manager, Ali. I haven't really directly corresponded with Bellator, but from the sounds of it, this is the fight. This is what Pitbull's waiting for. He just fought in December on New Year's Eve, so I'm sure he likes to stay busy, so he's waiting for a contender, and this is it. So they're probably just waiting for me, and then they're gonna put that fight together for later this year.
Yeah, last one from me. What type of experience are you expecting in front of a Dublin crowd? Pedro, an adopted son of Ireland. Are you expecting a hostile crowd?
No, I'm sure it'll be a bit hostile. I'm definitely expecting the energy. Even when I watch these events from home, I'm like, I can't wait to get there. I can't wait to fight there. I hope I fight there one day, and because I know it's a wild crowd, And I just remember Queeley coming out to Zombie, and ever since then, I'm like, I got to get out there, So the boos and the cheers, it could be for me, it could be for him. It doesn't matter. Once we're both in the cage, it's just all noise. It's literally just noise, and it's just me and him. They're not in there with him. And I don't think the Irish crowd will be quite as hostile as Brazil. So I've been there. I've been around the world fighting in Australia, Brazil, Morocco, all over the place. So I just feel like it's just a different experience. I get to enjoy, and just different energy to take in. Me coming out first too, I think will be something I've prepared for mentally. We're going to walk out first and feel the whole energy, and he's going to come out to whatever he comes out to, and that crowd's going to be going crazy, and it's going to be great, man. I can't wait. I've been envisioning it every night before bed.
Jeremy, you mentioned you've been in Ireland for a week and had a good time. Yeah. Is there anything specific you've done that you've enjoyed?
Not too, man. I was actually, if you guys are locals, I was staying in Rathmines, so I was a little out of the city, just checking out. Just it's very, very cultured out there. It's very, very cool. Just getting the lay of the land. Just rented a car, drove around. We grocery store. I just more so wanted the sleep schedule because of the 8-hour difference on the West Coast. And with the fight being so late out here, we'll probably be fighting around 10, 11 o'clock. So I wanted to be working out at that time, going to bed late, waking up late, just acclimate properly. I've flew in a little early for a few of the fights overseas, and the jet lag, when it hangs and lingers into the weight cut, it's annoying. You're laying there starving, you can't even sleep. So I just wanted to get here, get the flight out of the way, get the time change, acclimate everything, and just be comfortable. Like, I feel so at home here already, and it's been 6-7 days that, like, I know what I like at the grocery stores. I know where I want to go, what to do. The only thing I'm missing out on is these pubs, man. So I'm staying in a few extra days, and there'll be plenty of time for that, and everything tastes better off a win. So I'm just focusing on the win right now, and then the Guinness and all that will come after.
I'd love to get your thoughts on the co-main event, Amosov against Storley. It's obviously a special night for Yaroslav after everything he's been through in the last year. Just your thoughts on the fight as a whole?
Yaroslav, I think that that's my guy. I'm going for. His story is incredible. Like, to be able to, I'm a pretty dialed in guy for training year round. Like, I write out my schedule. I write out all my workouts, all my diet, all my everything, and then to be a world champion and to suit up and go serve in the military, I physically couldn't even imagine it. So all the respect to him. He is to me, he's on a whole different pedestal than the rest of all of us. We're all fighting in a cage, and he's fighting in real. And then that's incredible. And then to come back now and defend his title, that's just a guy in his position to be able to do what he did is Storley, I'm sure it's got to be a tough guy coming in, being the bad guy, essentially. I'm sure he's a nice guy too, but I'm definitely rooting for Yaroslav.
I suppose the obvious fight to compare this for you is the Emmanuel Sanchez fight, in that he's a good cardio, good striking type of matchup. And I asked Pedro about that just before you came in, and he said that he thinks he's a better technical fighter than Emmanuel, and that'll benefit him here. Is that a fight you kind of look back at when you're looking forward to this one and think, if I can do the same things in that fight against Pedro, they'll work as well?
That's a good comparison, actually. I think they do. I do think Pedro's a little bit more sharp with his strikes. They're just different fighters in the sense of, I think, Emmanuel has just been around. He's a dog. He's a bit more crafty on the ground. But I think, Pedro's a little bit more bouncy on his feet, a little bit different style of striking, but the grappling difference, I think, is just going to be huge regardless. With anybody I fight, I don't care who you are. Pedro, I just think this is a big gap for him that he's going to have to fill and figure out how to fill. But that just puts the rest of the division on notice as well. I feel like every fight, I'm not looking back at, this guy's close to Sanchez and this guy's close to Pico. I'm better than all of these guys at what I do, my A game. So that's what they have to worry about. How the hell am I going to keep this guy off of him? And not even that. This fight, I'm looking to make a statement. So I think you're going to see other tools that guys are going to look back and be like, damn, now where are we going to go with this guy? So you'll see.
I know you spoke about the crowd in the Tree Arena, but this is going to be like a main event because Pedro is kind of the last Irish-based guy on the card, and the Irish crowd are known. Is that something that you're prepared for in terms of the? I don't think the Irish crowd are pretty respectful. I don't think you'll get abused or anything like that, but the noise and the amount of support that will be for your opponent.
Yeah, there's going to be no Uvo Mojeas, I'm sure, right? But No, this is actually word for word what my training partner Kai said. You know, like he's going to be the last, and he's walking out after me, so it's going to be real loud when he's walking out. And again, that's something, visualization, preparation, that prepares you as much as you can until, you know, you're actually in there. But to me, I just can't wait to feel that energy. You know, I was feeling sluggish walking down here, and then I see you guys and I got these lights and I'm fired up. So I can only imagine when I get out there and the crowd's going nuts.
Last question for me, and not to look past this fight, but just on Patricio in general. To me, he's one of the most underrated fighters in the world in terms of how good he has been over the last few years.
Yeah.
When you look at his game, how do you beat him? Because he's a very hard guy to get inside and to take down, to work your ground game on. Obviously, if you can get there, it'd be an advantage to you. But what is the way to beat Patricio? How do you get inside on him? How do you get him to the ground?
I get him in, get him down, do my thing. You know, I mean, who has he fought that resembles anything that I do? You know, it's a list of Weichel's, Sanchez's, you know, AJ's maybe the closest, and they're 1-to-1, and AJ does not push his grappling and his wrestling like he could. Chandler didn't have the chance. Everybody else, I would like to see the list of hard pressure fighter grapplers that he's fought, and it's a very small list. So Borix had the height, the size that I thought was going to be able to do it, but the grappling wasn't quite there. I'm that same physical 45er. I don't think you get much bigger than me at 45. Pitbull I've always thought is a little small for 45, and I just think stylistically I'm a nightmare for him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's cutting now to try to get to 35 already.
If you come out to Maniac, you might get a few of the Irish crowd on your side. Just a song choice there for you.
My man.
You had the fight with Pineda. Obviously, he tested positive afterwards. Your big fight then with Aaron Pico. You got the victory, but there was kind of the asterisk of the shoulder injury. You've been calling out Pedro for a while. Is part of you kind of going, is this big defining victory ever going to happen for me?
Yeah, I feel like this is kind of, that last one with Pico was supposed to be, you know, that marquee win, and you know, and the fight was going the way I expected it to go, and I expected it to continue to go. But obviously, when it ends that way, there's always going to be doubts. And the way Pico's touted, he was, you know, it's easy to kind of brush off, you know. So I keep going. I keep doing my job. You know, Bellator obviously sees it in me. This is the 4th top 5 ranked guy I've fought. I think 3rd co-main event or 2nd, 3rd co-main event. Always main card, you know. So. Always fighting guys way up in the rankings, and the record against them shows that that's where I belong. This is just another one of those. He's ranked 3rd now. I'm ranked 5th. You know, I'm gonna go out there and dust him up, and you eat what you kill. And I'm gonna be up top. There's gonna be nobody above me anymore, and it's gonna be the title shot after that.
Speaking of eat what you kill in your weight cuts, your nickname JBC. What's the story behind that?
That's actually it's Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, and it's a hometown thing that I like to bring with me through my whole career now. I started fighting when I was 15 when I had my first fight. Braces on, puffy hair, thought it was like a pancreation, like headgear and everything, and we show up and it's like unregulated, pure MMA. Fighting a 24-year-old guy who missed weight by 9 pounds, and my parents had to sign the waiver. I had to walk out into the crowd, sign the waiver, and so I was just a young kid on the MMA team, and I was training and whatever. My whole team was about 20, 25 at the time, and they were all doing road work. I had never done any of that. I was doing gi jiu-jitsu, in the evenings, and then sticking around for a little bit of pad work. And that was all I was doing. And then I was turning pro, and because I had 8-1 amateur, and I was just doing good at it, and eating McDonald's, eating whatever, doing whatever I wanted, going to high school. And then they sat me down and like, you got to really be strict and dialed in, And so I took it to heart. Like honestly, I was like, okay, I got to go pro. This means business. So a few weeks passed, and I was getting ready for my pro debut, and they're like, okay, man, so how's the diet been going? Can you send me over what you're eating, your macros? Didn't even know what macros were. And then I was like, yeah, man, I switched over to Wendy's because it's fresher, and I thought wholeheartedly it's fresher than McDonald's. They got the real lettuce in there, and softer bun. So I was like, yeah, I switched over to Wendy's. I'm just having the JBCs, like smaller burger, all good. And so ever since then, I was the junior of the team anyway, so it just stuck, like Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, that's JBC. And then I couldn't get away from it. I was hometown, like main eventing at the Battlefield, like a local show, regional show, and I would have all my friends show up, and it would just be chants of JVC, JVC. So it just stuck. I couldn't get out of it. And then when I moved on to the bigger promotions, I just brought it with me. I was like, this is my hometown. This is what I grew up with. And I mean, I don't eat that way anymore, anyways. But yeah, JVC just brings me back to 16-year-old kid just getting in there, just doing it because I love it.
Appreciate that. Thanks very much.
Of course, man. Thanks, Jeremy. Mine. Thanks.